But for our first case, we're heading to Nottingham. Not only the stomping ground of Robin Hood,
Robin Hood, riding through the glen.
but also home to another not-so-famous modern-day outlaw, who's not so much Robin Hood
Nottingham, a.k.a. Shottingham,
as Robin the Hood. In 2009, Daniel Ryan committed the perfect burglary. Until, that is, he followed it up with a bizarre bird-brain blunder, all because of his love of chips.
It was the most ridiculous thing I've done in my life.
The night of fast food folly began in the usual style for Dan. Smoking weed at his mate's flat and necking his own unique brand of cocktail.
Drinking vodka and Lambrini together and just neck it back. I was stealing.
The drink quickly dried up, so Daniel and his band of boozing buddies set out for the local offie. But there was one small problem. They were all skint.
We went to the off licence to try and get some tick and some drink, but he wouldn't let us.
With his credit crunched, Daniel thought about calling time on the evening, but then decided that he wasn't going to let a lack of lolly halt his night of fun.
I'm not going to bed till I've had another drink.
And that was to be his undoing. Alcohol can affect people in many ways. It can release the inner party animal, or put us in a romantic mood. But unfortunately, in Daniel's case, booze unleashes his inner burglar.
I've done loads of stuff since I've been drunk.
Drunk and desperate for cash, Daniel went on the prowl and soon found the perfect easy target. He spotted a house with the back door unlocked, and while the owners were inside, Daniel crept into the kitchen and helped himself to a mobile phone, a watch, and the princely sum of £12 in cash. And then
Went to the chip shop and brought some chips. Can I have a big bag of chips, please, mate? I get hungry when I'm drunk like everybody else does when they're drunk. Get hungry.
So do you like gravy with your chips, Dan?
No, just chips.
Curry sauce?
No, just chips.
Chips and cheese?
Just chips.
Just chips.
Chips and filling, man.
And it was while chowing down on his chips that Daniel embarked on a course of action that earned him the title of Bizarre Crime's most clueless crim.
I'm sorry I can't be there to accept this trophy.
Suddenly remembering that he'd left the back door of the house he'd robbed open, Daniel decided to return to the scene of the crime and cover his tracks. But he wasn't going anywhere without his chips. But there was a surprise in store for Daniel's second visit: the family dog. Daniel and dogs have history. He'd once been savaged by a police dog while making his escape from a previous crime. And he didn't much fancy a matching set of scars.
When I heard that dog barking, I thought, shit.
Petrified by the pooch, Daniel bolted.
Chips went everywhere.
By real criminals.
Not long after, the police arrived, and they were initially concerned about catching the crook.
Ryan had actually committed the perfect burglary and left the scene without leaving any forensics behind and no witnesses.
But then they discovered the trail of tatties.
Officers saw scattered chips on the patio. They also saw a chip fork. This item was sent off forensic analysis.
If you don't know how DNA testing works, meet someone who does.
DNA is a molecule that essentially makes us what we are. DNA is contained in every single cell, and we are shedding cells all the time in the environment. Any item you've touched, such as a chip fork, that will contain your DNA.
The police forensics team swabbed Daniel's fork for a sample, before singling out the unique parts of his DNA molecule and comparing that to samples on the national database.
Tests were done, which came back to a person called Daniel Ryan.
Yes, Daniel and Nottinghamshire police were already acquainted. It turns out Daniel has a habit of turning burglaries into buffets.
I've done another burglary, left my can of beer on the windowsill.
Daniel might have left DNA on a lager can at a previous crime scene and on the chip fork at his new burglary, but that didn't mean the police had him banged to rights.
Forensic evidence alone, in this particular case, saliva on a fork, wouldn't be enough to convict Ryan, so we needed more.
Police brought Daniel in for questioning.
Ryan had a number of options. One would be to go no comment, the other one would be to deny the offence. He knew the system well. To my surprise, he confessed.
I admitted it all.
It was clear to us that he wanted to clear his conscience.
When the copper said it was an old couple, I just didn't like it. Thought I'd admit it, get it out of the way, do my punishment.
Without Ryan's account, it would have been very unlikely that he would have been convicted.
So how much did that bag of chips actually cost him?
2.5 years.
Nottinghamshire police treat burglars very seriously. He's since been released, and fortunately for us, we've not heard anything from him. So hopefully, he's turned over a new leaf.
A dose of life behind bars was a real wake-up call for Daniel, and it seems he's learnt his lesson.
I feel horrible about everything I've done in the past. Trying to get a job just for obviously my son and his mum. So that's what I want. I want a family with them too, that's it, no one else. She's the love of my life. Shit, what would I said?
Having served his time and finally seen the error of his ways, Daniel's determined to stay on the straight and narrow, swapping Lambrini for Bambini and looking forward to life as a doting dad.